Good morning. Okay, today we are going to talk about supplies. I'm just getting the stuff out of my bag. I forgot to grab my iPad. Hold on. Brought up so we can make sure we don't miss anything. I just have to find it. Good morning. Okay. Okay. So, supplies. I personally like shopping at Joann for supplies, but you can find supplies at Walmart, at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, online. I thought I had something in my teeth, sorry. But yeah, like you can find supplies most anywhere. I just like Joann because it's convenient for me. Or Walmart because I have to drive out of town for supplies if it's not at Walmart. Our town is small. So if you're having troubles locating supplies, let me know. I can help you find something in your area. Okay, so first thing is needles. Roman might make a little appearance. We'll see how quiet he can stay. Embroidery needles. I personally like the DMC size 5 needles, but really any embroidery needle will work. I personally like the sharpness and the thinness of the DMC size 5s. This one's a little bit thicker, but you just need something that has an eye and a sharp point. So tapestry needles will work. They're not super sharp though, and so they're a little harder if you're getting like a high quality cotton. Linen, you would probably be okay with using a tapestry needle, but anyways. Or not tapestry. I don't remember what they're called. The ones that are a little bit more blunt. Anyways, size 4 tapestry needles are popular, but they're a little shorter and I like a longer needle. So anyways, DMC size 5 is my choice, but use whatever you can find. Okay, so fabric. The two fabrics I like best are Kona cotton. I call it Kona cotton, K-O-N-A, or Kona cotton. I'm not sure which way to pronounce it, but that's what I like for cotton. It's a little bit higher quality. There's just the tiniest bit of like cotton stretch, but it's like nice and thick, has a really tight weave so it holds all the stitches really well. This is what is going out in the kits. What word am I searching for? So that's what's going out in the kits is the Kona cotton. The other option that I really like is linen. It's a little bit of a looser weave, so you can kind of see through it a little bit, where the cotton you can't as much. Do you see how this one's a little bit of a looser weave? So it's really nice, I think, especially for beginners, because it doesn't hurt your fingers quite as much because the needle goes through it a little bit easier. I use it on a regular basis. I mean, I've got like a big piece of it. So I use it regularly. I like it. You can stitch on color. You can stitch on just white. I like white because that makes colors pop, but you could use a color if you want as well. I have some options for you to trace your pattern if you're using a darker fabric. So embroidery threads. I like to use DMC threads. They're easily accessible to me. and I really like the quality. Anchor has started to show up more in craft stores, so if you see Anchor, that's another great brand. I've also used our local like fabrics shop. They carry Cosmo brand. Their color saturation is not my favorite, so I don't generally buy them unless I'm in a pinch. The quality is fine. I don't love the color shades that they have. I just feel like they're a little bit off. Like these I feel like are a little bit more true to color. So DMC comes like this. Some people put them on bobbins. I do not. Anything I have on a bobbin is because it was gifted to me and I just have it randomly. So, but I just keep everything on a skein and then I just wrap any extra around the middle. So that's what I do. Whatever works for you. So if you don't want to use bobbins, you don't have to, or you can if you like to. Okay, so embroidery hoops. I think the easiest, most cost-effective thing to use is a bamboo hoop. Bamboo hoops I've used for years. Bamboo hoops are like less than $2 usually. I mean, depending on the size, but like a 6-inch one is less than $2. So this is a bamboo hoop. I would just, when you're looking for a bamboo hoop, just watch for, sometimes there's like little gaps like this between the inner and outer hoop. So if you can avoid any gaps, that's best. You want them to be like tight right up against each other. The other thing is sometimes they're not completely round. Like obviously it's round, but like if you move this inner circle like to over here, like if you twist it a little bit, it might make more gaps. Like I don't know who is in the sink. I'm trying to decide if my cat's on the counter. Anyways, so I always, oh, I didn't bring my pencils over here either. Hold on. There is so many things crashing around me. It's so weird. Okay, so I usually mark just like a little tiny line, just so I remember, oh, that didn't show up. Just so I remember like that's the center, because this gets covered up with your embroidery. So I always mark the middle so I remember if it gets turned anywhere. Like I remember like this is the center, so then I can like get it back to where it needs to go so there's no gaps. So that is option number one. This year I've started using Beechwood hoops. They're a little pricier, but they don't have as many issues. So this is a Beechwood hoop. So they look a little bit nicer, but they cost more. These are like $5 each. So, but I like the hardware on them. They have a little screw on the end. So does this one. I always like, if I can find one with like a screw end, I will buy those before one without, because they're easier to tighten. So these are the Beechwood hoops. I haven't had problems with them like warping or having gaps and stuff. So I'm sure it happens occasionally, but for the most part, I have had very little trouble with Beechwood hoops. They're great. They just are a little bit pricier. So, another option is a plastic hoop. So this one is a Loops and Thread. No. Loops and Thread is another good brand though. Loops and Thread or is from Michaels, or Artiste brand from Hobby Lobby are the two plastic hoops that I like, because they have this like ridge and then it goes into like the gap. I don't know. But then when you put your fabric in there, it holds them really, really tight. So a lot of times I don't like to finish in these because the colors are, I mean, this is bright orange. Other colors are like hot pink or teal, but they're different sizes are different colors. So you kind of just get what you get. But these are really great to stitch in because they hold your fabric so tight, which is so nice. So a lot of times I'll stitch in this and then move it to a regular embroidery hoop to finish it, like at the end after we're done stitching. So that's another option if you want to. I have a set of these in like every size, so I can just use them whenever I want, and then I just have them for the next time. And then I've written the sizes on the top, so this is a 7-inch. Okay, the last option are these Flexi Hoops. So this one is an oval, but you can buy them in round as well. I love finishing in these, but I really struggle to stitch in them because it doesn't hold my fabric very tight. So what it is it's this plastic inner ring and then this outer flexible edge. So then you can finish it with this on top, or you can finish it this way. You just like re-stretch it and put it on. So these are great. I love finishing in them. I think that they look really nice, but I don't feel like they hold my fabric tight enough unless you're using a smaller hoop, like a 4 or a 5-inch. I can stitch in that because it holds it tighter. But once you start getting bigger, it just gets hard. So this one's an 8x10. It's huge. So those are kind of options for hoops. There's plenty of other, I've seen a lot of people talking about like Nerge hoops. They're like a wood hoop, but they're thicker. Like they have like a good thick edge. They look really nice. There's also like Auburn hoops are like wood frame. It's like a wood frame on your project. They are gorgeous. They're just a little bit pricier. So depending on how much you're wanting to spend on a hoop, that is also an option. Okay, so scissors, really you can use any scissors that you have. I personally like embroidery scissors because they're cute, first of all. And second, they're just little and they are really sharp so that they cut the threads really easily. You can find them at any craft store, or like this one is from a shop on Etsy, just because I wanted something fun for my birthday one year. So they are cute, but you can buy any scissors or use any scissors that you have at home. Don't feel like you have to buy something crazy if you don't want to. Okay, so a pen, pencil, or marker. So for embroidery, really you can use just a regular pencil. The only thing is with this, it will not erase. So I would use like a 0.5 lead, or just draw really lightly. Make sure you're not like drawing outside your pattern, because you're gonna want your threads to cover this up, because otherwise you'll be able to see your lines. So a regular pencil works, just be careful how you're using it. Another option is like these white water-soluble marking pencils. These come in white and blue. So white is great for dark fabrics. I don't use it very often. Oh, it's dirty. I don't like getting my embroidery wet after I've stitched it, because I feel like it makes everything like wavy and funky, and I'm not a huge fan. So I don't personally use water soluble, but I know a lot of people that do and like it. So this is a water soluble pencil. There's also water soluble markers, and they're usually blue or purple. So you draw it on and then you soak it afterwards and the blue ink disappears. So that's an option as well. I don't have any of those anymore because I just don't use them. So what I use is the Pilot Friction line. So this is a marker. This is what's going in the kits. It has a really fine tip. You can buy, they come in packs of black, or they come in packs of like with color. So I haven't had any problems with any of the colors. I just use whatever I can find. I have like blue and pink and black and purple and whatever. So the kits are coming with a black fine liner marker. Pilot also has like a clickable pen, which is also great. They also have stick pens. I've used like everything that they offer with their friction line. So that's what this is. Pilot friction. Is it gonna focus on that? There we go, maybe. But they're heat erasable. So like this end is the eraser, and what it does is when you erase with it, it creates heat and erases the marker. The only problem with these is that it can leave like a ghost line. So you draw on there and then you erase it, but you can kind of see a hint of the line. So kind of the same thing with the pencil. Like you don't want to get crazy. You want to make sure you're like keeping things like where you need them to be. You don't want to get some crazy lines on there. So anyways, that's full disclosure, that can happen. But I use these regularly. That's what I like to. They can also, the line can come back if it gets extremely cold. Like if you drew on your fabric, erased it, and then put it in the freezer, the lines would come back. So there's that. Okay, last option that I have used is these. There's two brands. There's Fons and Porter, and there's Boheen. They're mechanical chalk pencils. So the lead inside of them is chalk. So these are great for dark fabrics. I love this for dark fabrics. I don't use dark fabric very often, but when I do, this is the one. My only complaint is that they rub off. And so if you have like a detailed pattern, they sometimes will get erased like as you're working, just because, you know, you're touching your fabric and it's chalk. So use with caution, but that's a great option. Some other options for things that I personally have never used, but I keep meaning to try, is like transfer paper. So you take your fabric and then you put the transfer paper and then you put your pattern on top and you trace it, and it leaves, the transfer paper leaves like the lines from where you drew your pattern. So you just like trace your pattern over the top and it like leaves that pattern. So that comes in black or white. And then it just washes away. The other option is Sulky Solvy. A lot of people use them for like when they're stitching on clothes. But it's like a paper and you print your pattern on the paper and then you stick it to your fabric and then it washes away afterwards. So then you don't have to draw your pattern on. It's just right there. You just print it. It's easy peasy. So I am planning on, before the next stitch along, practicing with that and doing kits with that if I like it. So that might be coming up soon, but that's just an option that I've just never used it. So I'm just not 100% sure about it yet. Plus you have to get it wet to wash off the paper. So I don't love that. Okay. So that's it for me about supplies. I'm like, what are we talking about today? Next week, I will go live and show you how to transfer your pattern, whether you're transferring with the kit. Kits should go out here soon. And then, or if you're just transferring on your own from the pattern. So let me know if you have questions before then, and have a great week. Thanks for coming. Bye.